Hey, so for some reason it won't let me play Iron Man, and this has been going on for like 3 days, so I haven't played any EU4. So I'm just gonna give up. I've tried reinstalling the whole game. I've tried verifying the cache and all other things that normally work, and for some reason it's not working. I'm just gonna start a new game and play some non-Iron Man. But first, let's look at what has come before. So this is the very first game I ever played with Austria. Take over the whole freaking world, man. Venice was my most fun playthrough of anyone because rather than focus on actually fighting and winning wars and stuff, I mostly focused on establishing higher and higher trade income until I managed to actually get a ridiculously high trade income of $2,000 a month, which is way more than any other playthrough has ever gotten from all income sources combined. So with Venice, you can get an obscene amount of money because you redirect trade to Venice right here from Ragusa and then Constantinople and Alexandria and all the way around. I guess maybe through here and then all the way to Malacca. Anyway, we got ourselves some Prussia. Now Prussia, I didn't really... See, it says EU4 is running a mod or is altered in other ways, so you cannot play Iron Man. Very sad, very sad. Prussia, we had random new world turned on, so it takes longer to load. See, over here we got a random new world, which is funny that I played random new world when I had no intention of actually going to the new world, so I don't know why I bothered to randomize it. Anyway, I formed Prussia, then I formed Germany, and it was fun having an insanely powerful army that could stomp every army in the entire world. But I didn't actually grow very large. I got a little bit of this Baltic stuff and just the northern part of the empire. I kind of eliminated the empire. The Holy Roman Emperor formed the empire, but by the time he formed it, empire was dismantled. Hey, pretty lady. Did you want to watch TV or something? Oh, I am happy. I'm not playing with someone or anything. I'm just, doing what people do when they're bored. So Manchu, by far, was the most territory I ever got. But even with all of this territory everywhere, I would estimate that as Manchu, I was actually less powerful than as Prussia, that had almost no territory, because this territory is very poor. All the eastern territories are all kind of crap. So you can expand across the entire world, completely gobble up Russia and everything. But if you never actually start taking European territories, you never get very, very powerful. Poland looks kind of small and dinky. Like, oh, okay, so you got the traditional Swedish area and some of traditional Russia. But actually, if you look at the diplomatic map mode, I got a PU over Spain and the Golden Horde and Austria and Burgundy and France, and Bosnia and Ramazan and Kandar. So like, I actually own almost the whole world. I never bothered with the Poland can into space achievement because I already owned the whole world, so why bother? Savoy was a lot of fun. I inherited Burgundy and then used that to beat up on France and expand the empire. And I don't remember specifically making the decision to stop playing Savoy, but what happens is that I was streaming it. And when you're streaming a game, you have to have quiet in order to play it. So I kept running into a situation where I wanted to play and I couldn't stream, so I just didn't play Savoy. And then eventually I hadn't played it in so long that I forgot about it. But yeah, Savoy, I did pretty well with Savoy. Crimea, similar to Poland, we kind of took over traditional Russiaville and just expanded all over the world. Italy was probably the second most fun after Venice because the Italian ideas reduce aggressive expansion penalty, so you can expand forever without ever upsetting anyone. So I kind of took over all of this territory and some of Iberia and stuff. And it's not quite done, although we're getting 1789, getting close enough to the end that I didn't want to bother finishing it. Spain, I actually want to replay Spain after the expansion comes out in 5 days or whatever. I did pretty well with Spain. I cut France in half, but France took the idea that doubles the coring cost of their territory. So I can't really gobble France very fast, and it's so late. It's like 1800. It's so late that nobody has cores there except them. So I can't really eat France. And so I took over the world. I have a 400,000 or 500,000 troop army and lots of money and stuff, as tends to happen when you play the game as anyone. I didn't do very well in the New World because I allied Portugal for so long that by the time I switched my focus to the New World, everything was done. So I didn't want to bother ferrying troops over and taking over the New World. So yeah, I could have done better with Spain. I'm gonna play Spain again in the future because there's still an achievement for Spain that I didn't get, which is to become the Holy Roman Emperor as Spain, and I didn't do that. Portugal, I focused first on just letting Spain protect me while I got the entire North American continent, which was kind of cool. The great thing about this is with colonial nations, I never actually had to use my own troops to do anything. I just kind of, colonized and became ridiculously rich and ridiculously powerful without doing anything. And then I went over to take over the British Isles, but I underestimated just how long that was going to take. The British Isles look so small and easy to gobble up, but you got to realize that each of these provinces is like 8 base tax, and you can only gobble like 16 base tax at once. So you get 2 provinces, then 2 more, then 2 more, then 2 more, then 2 more, and it takes forever. And each of those is 5 years apart. So by the time I'm mostly done gobbling Great Britain and I want to come back and take over the Iberian Peninsula, it's too late. Game's basically over. So that didn't go very well. I played through the entire, into the 1700s with Portugal 3 times in a row because it's pretty fun. The colonization game means just setting it to 5x and watching TV while your colonies spread, which can be entertaining on its own. It would be terrible as a streamed game. Like, you wouldn't want to try to talk during all that because you're just running the game at 5x. I think the colonization game is a completely different kind of game. It's much more relaxing and not very complex. It's basically just kind of fast forwarding and watching yourself get more powerful without ever fighting anyone. This is my streamed Burgundy playthrough where I gobbled up most of France and then fought against Spain and Austria and won and said, okay, I guess I basically won. Again, I had a lot more that I wanted to do in this playthrough, but I was streaming it, so I wanted to stream. And, when you can't stream, you can't play, and so then I didn't play it for so long that eventually I forgot where I was and didn't want to pick up where I left off. So this is my Burgundy no-stream game, where because I wasn't streaming, I could play it whenever I wanted. So basically just did the exact same thing, and bam, I took over all of Spain, Portugal, France, Burgundy, and the Netherlands, and Italy, and whatever this is called, Greece. This is like Greece, and this is, I don't know what that is, like Hungary and stuff like that. So yeah, quite cool. This was my most fun fighting playthrough. Like, Venice was my most fun playthrough overall, but it was all focused on trade. And Italy was really fun, but it was all focused on diplomacy. This one was a pure fighting like Prussia, but whereas Prussia was a lot less fun than this one, because with the Prussian ideas, you don't actually become powerful until really late in the game, but with Burgundy, you're powerful from day one. Oh, it's also worth mentioning that Great Britain is I'm under a personal union with us. So I do kind of want to play Burgundy again. I love the Burgundian ideas. They have discipline, morale, and mercenary cost and trade, which are all things that are quite good for a warrior. It'd be nice to try to become emperor as Burgundy. And it'd be nice to play Burgundy as Protestant instead of Catholic, because maintaining your stranglehold on the Curia is so tedious. Like, every year it pauses the game and is like, you have to click this button now, and there's like 100% chance that you'll have every single cardinal under your control, but it keeps pausing to make you do that. In the next expansion that's coming out in just a couple days, they're going to automate that, so that should be good. So over time, I guess with the Prussian playthrough is when I first really realized it. So much I paid a lot of attention to getting high morale and high discipline through defensive and offensive ideas and quality ideas, but you actually get more discipline from innovative than you do from any of those, because just by having a high army tradition, you get 25% discipline, which is a huge amount of discipline, and you get really good generals, which is actually more beneficial than discipline itself. Since the Prussian playthrough, I always take defensive and innovative together, and that keeps your army tradition at 100, and it just makes the game so much more fun. So that last Burgundy playthrough was all about innovative and defensive. And then I added offensive and quality later on, so that my troops are just completely unstoppable. It's nice to have, in the early game, it's nice to have an entirely mercenary army with non-mercenary cannons, right? Because you can fight a war and take 0 manpower losses, and fight another war and take 0 manpower losses, and just do that over and over, so you can constantly fight wars. And that's another great thing about innovative, is it keeps your war exhaustion down, so you can constantly fight wars as well. But what I realized with the Burgundy playthrough is that once you get enough territory with enough buildings and enough money coming in, you really don't need to use mercenaries anymore. And it's kind of tedious to use mercenaries, because mercenaries expire, whereas normal troops, they upgrade as you upgrade, and you get to keep them forever, so you never have to micromanage your army composition ever again. So I'm tempted not to use the... I'm tempted to do a Burgundian style playthrough where I gobble up France and Iberia, but do it as someone other than Burgundy, someone who gets ideas that are not mercenary based. Possibly actually just forming the Dutch nation might be a good idea. I like starting out reasonably powerful, and I like having good national ideas, and I like being close to France and Austria, because I feel like it not only does it add challenge to the super early game, but once you beat France, you can gobble up every single bit of France without using any administrative power. So that's pretty crazy. So yeah, now it's time to decide what to play next.